Gibbo presents.
It's Gibbo, and right now I'm joined by powerful songwriter, philosophical thinker, and leader of the militant band, The Indignation. It is Protoje. Well on, King.
Good. We're in France, in Macau, and I think it's called Macau. And chilling out.
Right now you're in the middle of an extensive European tour. How are you feeling? Are the energy levels still high?
Yeah, we're hanging in there. It's a wicked tour. Baka Records put together a run with me, Protoje Indignation, Dana Kill, Yanis Adua for about 13, 14 shows, and then we have another 15 shows to do on our own. And we're good, we're eating good. Tour manager has us feeling good, so we're alright.
Getting ready for this interview, it really struck me just how well you have all aspects of the game covered. For example, you've got a fully functioning website, you sell t-shirts for men and women, you've got your own band, a regular updated YouTube channel, you make full use of social media. Now, this might not sound like too much, but if you think about it, there's not many reggae artists who can tick all these boxes. Do you feel it's necessary to have all these other things in place to complement your music and maximize your success as an artist?
It's necessary for me, for what I'm trying to achieve. Like, it doesn't have to be, everybody doesn't have to have all of these things, but my thing is very visually driven also. I love the arts. I'm a fan of visual arts and all that. So I like to make sure I have videos, I have designs, I have a videographer with me, I have an illustrator that I work with, a web designer, and these are all youths from Jamaica, you know what I mean? These are all local youths that are doing brilliant things, and I give them a chance to display their work, and they in turn make my work look professional, you know what I mean? So it's we and that's the whole reason why I did Indignation Collective group, because it was to bring artists together, visual artists, singers, songwriters, writers, musicians together, and work and build off each other.
You recently posted a video on your YouTube channel, or the Indignation YouTube channel, I think it was, Conversations Episode 1, in which you detailed the struggle you had in the early stages of your career, getting ZJ Liquid to play one of your songs on the radio. What made you want to share this story with the public now?
Well, my videographer Yannick was like, you know, he wants to do some series with me just talking. And it was like, whatever I feel to talk about in the moment where we set up, you know? And it wasn't planned, it was kind of planned in terms of like an hour before or so, but it was like, all right, I know what I want to talk about. And it's just to give youths that maybe have been denied a chance or told that they're not ready or told work harder, to know that like I've gone through that. I didn't just get up one day, carry a CD and was on radio. Like, there's ups and there's downs, but if you want to be an artist, and it doesn't even have to be an artist, just whatever you want to do, you have to be able to take criticism, to take discouragement. It's not even discouragement, because I wasn't being discouraged by him, by Liquid, for that situation. It was just more to, you know, I had to go and work harder and to let people know that it's not just easy. Lots of people think music is easy. They think it just works. You know, they think you just get up and you go to a show and the mic and everything is just there and the boxes and it just works. And me being on tour and moving with your own backline and everything, it really makes me see how much work goes into that time when you see me just saunter onto stage and start to sing. Like, people are working for 5, 6 hours before that to make it happen. Like, music is not an easy thing to just come in and take for granted.
Speaking of words of advice, you recently tweeted some wise words which Vybz Kartel said to you the first time you met him. Can you tell me where and when it was that you first met him, and tell me about the conversation that you two had?
Yo, some people on my timeline are giving me hell for that, man. They're like, why are you posting about Vybz Kartel? You're not righteous anymore and whatever. I'm like, yo, who is righteous in this world right now? I mean, I had to say that, listen, every saint has a past and every sinner has a future, you know? You should never judge people and you should always try to see the good. So, yeah, but to answer that, I was overdone Carion's house, and Rasta Love was at its peak at the time in Jamaica, like playing everywhere, and he came over and he was singing the words. He was like, just he was singing, just want to cooperate, find somebody that's cooperate. And he's like, yeah, man, them wordplay, they're our thing, them then, the lyrics are our thing, you know, so we notice them thing. So he was just giving me, like, making me know that, I noticed the cleverness in the rhymes, and then he said what I said he said. You know what I mean? Obviously, Don, who did my first 2 albums, anybody knows, Don knows that Vybz Kartel and him came up together off each other. Like, Don put on Kartel and its first rhythm, Kartel blew up on both of them, kind of. So naturally, it was only a matter of time before both of us were in the same place, same time.
How did it make you feel when he knew the lyrics to one of your songs?
Hey, you're trying to get me people to be mad at me more. Listen. When I first heard Vybz Kartel rhyme in 2001, I was completely blown away. Like, his skill, his patterning, his flow, his writing ability, like, I was completely blown away. It completely made me have to say, wow, like, he's a different level of writer, and it made me aspire to dig deeper within myself and to raise my level. Obviously, we sing different types of music, but as a songwriter, you can appreciate the skill of another songwriter. You'd be blind to not say that. But I mean, for him to be quoting my lyrics at the time, I felt I was, you know what I mean? I felt good. I'm not gonna lie. It was like, yo, somebody who I when he came out was like the bestest in dancehall, complimenting my lyrics. Obviously, I'm gonna be cool with that.
Carrying on with the theme of Twitter criticism, back in May... Twitter criticism, you dropped the video for Who Knows back in May featuring Chronixx, and since then it's gone on to clock up a huge number of views on YouTube. If I'm right, some people felt the need to criticize you for riding in the Benz at the start of the video. Can you set the record straight and explain why you chose to do this and the message you were trying to portray with the Benz breaking down?
Well, first I have to say, like, people have a problem with the Benz, and most of it is because of Rastafari, right? But as I said on my Instagram, like, His Majesty didn't use flag down in a taxi. You understand? His Majesty never used to boom ride with people. When His Majesty roll out in him Rolls Royce or in convertible Benz or his private jet that he had to fly where he wanted to go, people always, His Majesty himself says, we must work, cease for both material and spiritual gain. One doesn't, you know, you don't need to give up one to go the other. So if I want to drive a Benz, I'm going to drive one. I don't care what anybody has to say about anything to do with that. However, in the video, the point was that the video started out with us having all these things and then losing it by the way, and whether it was going to make us, get upset about it or carry on and still be happy with what we had. So the Benz break down, some people come on some bikes, we jump on that, then the bikes get pulled over, then we end up in the boat and we lose our shirt now and the hat is gone and the glasses is whatever, and it's like, and now you're still going because we still have a mission to accomplish. So that was the point. So if people didn't really see that, then they didn't see it, but it didn't have to be that way either. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with wanting something nice.
Was it on social media that people were criticizing you about this, or was it to your face?
They never criticize me to my face. They never do it. They never do it. It's always online, and I don't respond to people online, but I will respond to the idea. So I will speak about it in general, but I would never be like, this person said it and reply to them. But I still felt that it was needed for me to express it, to even spark a conversation. It's not about me being right or people agreeing with me, but when I made that post on Instagram, I think it's the most popular post I've ever made on Instagram, with His Majesty walking out of his Rolls Royce and me saying that, you know. So it sparked conversation, which is good, and that's all I try to do with. Listen, I don't have a problem with somebody thinking that way about the video. Same way somebody thinks about me using a girl in a bikini and styling for a video. I don't really care what people think about it, but once it sparks conversation and both sides get to weigh in what they feel, then I've done my job as an artist.
You'll have little time to rest when you return home from this European tour, because on December the 20th, you'll be holding and performing at another edition of Live from Kingston at Hope Gardens. Is there lots of pressure and problems involved with organising and performing at the same show?
Yeah, for sure, but I have a good team and they're on top of it. I still have to be doing stuff, obviously. It is challenging, but I have a good structure, a good team set up, and they're putting everything in place for me so that I can just come and go on stage and perform. You know, I'm not going to be at the venue at 7:30 like I used to be back in the day, Live from Kingston, bringing stuff or whatever. Like, I have a good enough team now that I can come for a call time. I'm probably going to miss some of the acts which I don't really want to, but I can't be at the venue from 7 to perform at 11. You know what I mean? It's going to throw me off. So I wish Savannah and Runkus all the best, those two new artists that I'm really proud to be working with, and they're brilliant. And obviously Nomads is one of my mentors on stage. Like, they've been on stage for over 12 years performing, and Kabaka, you know, is my boy. So it's going to be a crazy night.
A little while back, Chronixx made some critical comments about the Jamaican government, and in particular their failure to provide a venue for live reggae music. What are your thoughts on this situation?
Well, I definitely agree with them on that. In principle, with there's no live music venues there. There's nothing for little you to look up and aspire to be like you can be in Paris and you can drive past the Zenith and be like, one day I want to perform there. You can go to New York and say, oh, one day I would like to perform at Madison Square, or wherever. Maybe that's not the best example, but you know, known live venues that you go to play music, and in Jamaica there's none. And you can never discredit what that does to somebody when they don't see it. Like, I get to travel and see stuff so to believe what can be done, but enough of the youths that are down there don't get to do that. So we need a live music venue, because they lock us. Even Live from Kingston is curfew at 12:30. So we have no place to play music till 2, 3, 4 o'clock and put on proper shows and stuff. So we need that. But my thing is that I'm going to do for self, and I'm going to try to put myself in a position where where me and the collective and whoever it is can do our own live venue and put our own stuff together. And I'm not gonna sit and wait on the government to do it for us. And this generation is very driven. Chronixx is a very driven youth, myself and the others. So anything is possible, once we put the right energy towards it.
So is that something you've looked into already and began the process of acquiring a venue for live reggae music?
The process is a long process, but the whole point of Live from Kingston was to get our feet wet in live shows and music. And when we start to sell out every venue that they have there for us, then something is going to have to be done, you understand? So the whole point of Live from Kingston is to venture into the live music landscape, and that can lead to anything.
How does it make you feel when you come to Europe and tour for 6 weeks straight with shows across multiple countries, whilst back in Jamaica, the birthplace and the home of reggae music, you and your peers rarely get the opportunity to perform live for the people?
I don't feel about it motivating, because it makes me know that there's more work to be done, and it's making us very worldly and seeing how stuff is done all over the world. We can bring this back and build the infrastructure so that the youths coming up after us will have a good infrastructure that we didn't have.
Your new album is set to drop early next year, Ancient Future. Can you explain why you chose this title and what the meaning behind it is?
It's an album I always wanted to make. It's paying homage to an era, that music that I love, different eras of music, ska, compass point type of reggae like Grace Jones, heavy rubber dub, and it's just pulling off influences from music of different eras and the whole Ancient Future, where I heard Nas say something one time, it's like, no idea is original, there's nothing new under the sun. And it was just like me kind of taking bits and pieces of the music that I love and formulating it to make it sound futuristic. So I don't want to make an album that sounds like 1983, that sounds like Sly and Robbie or sounds like John Jolas, but an album that you can see the influence that they had on me and what we creatively added to it. And that's the whole concept behind this album.
Are you able to tell me which producers and artists you've worked with on the album?
Yeah, I'll give you an exclusive. Kabaka is on it. I think I told Reggaeville that though, so that's not exclusive. But Savannah is on it, new singer I've been working with. She also has a feature. Obviously Chronixx is on it. Kabaka is on it. And then producer-wise, Winter did most of the production. I co-produced one song. My boy from UK, LP, co-produced one song. And we're in the last stages now. I really want to get this track with Prince Fatty finished for the album. I'm not 100% where it stands, but we're definitely doing work. I just don't know at this point if it's going to make the record with time, but I'm looking forward to getting that done. But it's mostly by Winter.
Protoje, great catching up with you. Safe travels for the rest of the tour and best of luck for 2015.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the shirt. Thank you for doing your research. Thank you for being prepared to talk about music. It's a good vibes.
Gibbo.